I'm Monica Marsh. I'm here to discuss sub-plans. So my big thing is I was a sub before I became a teacher for half a year, and so sometimes I'd go into classrooms having great sub-plans, and other times I would go in not knowing what to do and kind of having to do with whatever I had. So my big thing is being detailed. So what you need to leave for your subs is what you want your students to do. What I usually do is I leave these big post-it notes, thank you Title I funds, and I leave this for the students the day before we go over the game plan with our kiddos to make sure that they know what to do. They know where to pick up the stuff, they know what to expect. We go over everything, we put due dates, so it's not a big surprise. Yes, the sub goes over these things again, but the students can refer to this, or also I post on my Moto most of the time. A big thing is what to do when they're done. In my class, we have the activity, usually it's pretty independent or on your own, because I don't want the sub to have to deal with going out in the hallway or the students moving around too much. So usually when they're done, I always have like 3 or 4 things that they can do, and they know that. Read, work on their review, work on their math, and each classroom is going to be a little different. But that's kind of how I run my room. I always think it's important about when the students leave early or get here late from Maine. I put that on my sub plans, as well as I put it on my seating chart. So students who, most of them do a very good job with that, but just in case they know the sub, they might want to try to pull some shenanigans. I also do like students to watch. We have mostly great students here at Kilo, but there's that 1% that you sometimes worry about, and so when I identify those in my sub notes, then the sub can kind of look and see which student to watch more often. Seating chart, I always have that for them so that the students know, or the sub knows to where they sit. They can take attendance quicker. Also, I put a picture printout on Skyward for them to look at. So say a student tries to be sneaky, well, they can't because there is a picture ID for them, the sub, to look at. Always tell them about your block lunch and your regular duty. It's important. Maybe highlight it in your sub plans is what I try to do a lot of times. Make sure you have 2 rosters, one for attendance to give to Ms. Keeler, and I always put like a little sticky note, send to Ms. Keeler, and I have a group of students for each period that I trust that can do that, and the sub can ask that particular student to do that. And have an extra one just in case, so the sub can refer to it if we have a fire drill, whatever the case may be, or make some notes on that particular kiddo. If they have any health issues, make sure that's in your sub plans so that they can know about that and not have any surprises. Bell schedule, phone roster, these are just important things as well. And what we do in social studies is we always let our team member know if we're going to be out. Mr. George is my counterpart. He knows my game plan. He knows what they're doing so that the students can be successful, and we kind of check up on each other. We go to the sub, and Mr. George comes in the morning and says, "Hey, sub, this is what's going on," etc. And then my biggest thing is I kind of review the day before. I understand that sometimes you don't have planned absences, but if you do have a planned absence, I review the game plan. We go over this twice in class, once at the beginning and the once at the end, so my students know what to expect. And I think it's about setting high expectations for our students. I like to set the bar high, just like all y'all, but they know what to expect. And I like to tell them, you're in our class, that sub's in there one day, most sometimes, if not more, and they just see a little, picture of you, and you want to represent yourself in a good way. You want to exhibit that farmer pride, and so it's all about the high expectations. You might be a good student 99% of the time, but if you act up with the sub, then they have that bad image of you, and image is a lot. And of course, I always set up consequences. The sub is a teacher, and here you need to respect them just like you would respect any Kilo teacher, and just make sure that you follow this game plan or something similar, and you should be successful too. Thanks. So these are my sub plans. They're pretty detailed. I think the first year at Kilo, which was 4 years ago, we kind of got an outline like this. It has like the assistant principals, the principals, who to contact, goes over everything with sub plans, has my students to watch, who to block lunch duty, you name it. Next one's something they sent out last year. I just have it. It's a quick and easy reference page so that the sub can look through it real quick and see when your duties are and who to contact if there's any issues. I have my rosters. I leave a little sticky note. Give to Miss Keeler. Give to this. The student on the list will. The good students will go downstairs to give this to Miss Keeler. I have my extra roster just in case the sub needs to make a note on student's behavior or if a class is outstanding. I leave the ID chart, identification, so then the sub can know a face to a name. And then I kind of put some of the things like if they're an AVID or if they're 504, if they're SPED, just in case they can take a closer look at them. And of course, our emergency students, these are the students that have big time emergencies, and you go to the nurse, food allergies, etc. So this is important for your sub to be aware of. And of course our bell schedule, because our bells always run on time or are on, just kidding, and the phone list. So it's kind of like my little game plan I leave for my sub for them to be successful.